Here is my presentation of Edgar Allan Poe, master of the macabre, poetry, and mystery and suspense. Who was Edgar Allan Poe? He was born on January 19th, 1809 in Boston, and at the age of only 2, his mother passed away, and his father had already abandoned the family. He was then taken in as a foster child by the Allan family. Edgar Allan Poe secretly married his 13-year-old cousin, and in 1836 he then publicly married her. They were very much in love, but she tragically died at the age of 20 of tuberculosis. Poe started writing poetry at the age of 13. This quickly became a passion for him, and he spent all his free time writing. In 1826 he enrolled at the University of Virginia. Unfortunately, he got into a lot of debt, so he started gambling to try and pay it back. This unfortunately resulted in him withdrawing from the university. Later, he enrolled at West Point and started writing full-time. He eventually settled down in Richmond, Virginia. Poe started his career as a literary critic and was known for giving harsh reviews. During his lifetime, he barely made a living from his writing. Poe published some of his most famous short stories and poems in 1840 in a book he called Tales of the Grotesque and Arabesque. The majority of his works were written in the first-person narrative. Often he would describe his main characters using opium. This led people to believe that he himself dabbled with drugs. His stories were so far out and creepy and terrifying that people believed he was very strange. In 1841 he wrote The Murders in the Rue Morgue, which has been recognised as one of the first modern detective stories. The story is the tale of a man from Paris who solves the mystery of the brutal murder of 2 women. The Raven, published in 1845, was his huge breakthrough. The poem went worldwide and acclaimed fantastic reviews. The Raven is a poem written by Edgar Allan Poe and was first published in 2 newspapers back in 1845. The poem is the story of a talking raven that visits the protagonist after midnight on a dark December evening. The mysterious creature seems to distress the narrator and torment him over the loss of his love, Leonore. Edgar Allan Poe died on October the 7th, 1849. He died at the age of 40 in the most bizarre circumstances. He left Virginia and headed for New York. 1 week later, he was found on the streets of Baltimore. Later that week, he was found in a tavern, ill, drunk, and wearing someone else's clothes. He was taken to a hospital and died 2 days later in a delirium. His death remains a mystery. There were no clues as to what exactly happened to the eccentric writer. Poe is an American icon. Even 150 years after his death, people enjoy his special style of writing.